Hello, Dragonflies. If you're not totally sick of Sudoku and you're still a little bit confused on recursion, I did a little animation and you can see what a recursive solution looks like. So let's take a look. So here's my runner. Let's start off with just table number 1, and this is the speed that it's asking us for. We'll start off very slow. So if you remember in table number 1, these early tables, they don't really require any guessing. You can pretty much look at the row and look at the column and look at the box, and you can figure out what the empty ones are. Not always in sequence, but every time you write a new number in, that helps you solve other ones. So here we go. We've gone through this table and we've solved it. So let's take a look at one that's just a little bit more interesting. So table number 5 here, we'll do it slow. And at this case, this time it's going to go through and try, work through, find as many as it can, but eventually they get to the point where they're still empties, and each one has more than one possible solution. So what does it do? It guesses. And then it goes through and works through, given that guess, it works through the rest of the table. Now every time it guesses, it pushes the entire board on a stack. Why does it do that? Well, because every time you guess, it might be wrong, and if you find out someplace later that you're wrong, you want to go back and undo that guess and try something different. So in this case, we only had to make one guess, and then it worked its way all the way through and finished. How do we know that a guess is wrong? Well, you'll get to a point where you either finish a table, the guess was right, or you have to make another guess where you'll have an empty cell, and all the empty cells that remain in the table have 2 or more possibilities, so you just got to guess again. Or the bad guess situation is where you've got an empty cell and you look at the row and the column and the box, and all the numbers 1 through 9 have been taken up. So there's nothing to do. There's no number that you can stick in there. So at that point, you want to go back to the last guess that you took, undo it, and then try the next guess. That is why you pop the old board off. Now you've gotten rid of all those changes that you've made. You haven't had to manually erase a piece of paper. And then you try the next possible number for that cell and continue on. Let's take a look at a little bit more involved one. Table number 9 is pretty good. Let's do it a little bit faster. And here we go. So here it is. It's just working it out like table number 1. It finds a situation where it can't go any further, so it guesses, in this case, 4 for cell 2. Then it goes through, and there's still more, so it makes more guesses. And you can see that it keeps pushing more boards on the stack here. It'll eventually get to a point, I think, where it finds that it's got a bad board and it's got to wrap backwards. That is, it pops one off and then goes forward again. So here we are, and it's made a new guess, 5 for cell 4, and you can see it popped one off the stack. So we had a bad guess and it's got to undo it. Here we've made a new guess and ran into a bad board, popped it off again. So it's just, make a guess, work it through. If the guess fails, pop it off, try the next one and go through. So the try the next one is the recursive call. So we're continuing. Number 9 was a pretty good one. It took a little bit of time. There we go, and we are still going. You can see how the stack is increasing and decreasing, and after every guess, we work through and see how many we can figure out based on that last guess. So here we go. We had to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guesses before we were able to finish the table. This might be a little bit easier to see what's going on if we go and do table 14, and let's do it pretty fast. What you'll see here, table 14 is the empty table. So the first one we can't do anything with. Row, column, box, it's all empty. So we make a guess. Second one, can't do anything with, so we got to make another guess. Third one, fourth one. So you'll see that it'll rapidly push boards on the stack until we get to a point where we can actually start, working. Here we go. So you see how it goes through. It's gone all the way up to here, and now it is going back and forth, finding bad guesses, and the further you go through, the more chance there is, of course, that you've got a bad guess. So it's just hammering through this now, and it reaches a point here where it will all of a sudden start over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see it's just guessing in a row, and my stack went way off the side here. I don't know, something like 28 deep, but it solved a completely empty Sudoku board. So I hope that helps. You can kind of see how the recursion is working and pushing a board on the stack, and we'll see you on Monday.